Was one such affectionate acceptance.
Put a chick in it, make her gay.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
They were big. They were hitting hard too, man.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Broaden the areas of participation for women.
That sounds very stylish.
What is my problem? What do you think?
Pete sitting home watching television?
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. I have another great guest. I'm really excited here. I always like a good mystery. And so when my next guest told me that he was getting ready to do a book and it was a noir murder mystery, I was like, you've piqued my interest. I'm intrigued. So without further ado, let me get something in to bring my guest in. Let's do this.
It's alive. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive.
Not exactly noir, but it's black and white and it's old. And I thought, hey, I could at least start with that, some sort of foundation.
It fits the mood.
Hey, Darkgift, thank you so much for agreeing to be on my show. Always a pleasure. And a noir murder mystery. I'm really excited.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And you're the first show that we're finally like kicking off the tour.
Oh wow,
the circuit with. So.
I get to pop the cherry. I'm excited.
Yeah, you do. So
let's see.
Go ahead.
Hey. I was just going to say hi to, and I'm not sure, is that pronounced Inzi guy or New Zealand guy? I don't know. If you could let me know phonetically, that would be great. But welcome. We were kind of chatting before this show kicked off here. Let's see. We have Grey Wolf. Welcome. Great to see you. So yes, I'm sorry. I cut you off there. New Zealand. Okay, good. So it is New Zealand. Perfect. New Zealand guy. Welcome. So yes, we were kind of talking about some of the drama, but we want to take that drama and just brush it aside. Let's focus on the positive stuff. And that is great comics. And wow, I am so honored. I get to be the first, I guess, to kind of dive into this and kick it off with you. So excellent.
Yeah. So
here, I actually have I had the trailer queued up. I was watching that earlier. I was telling you backstage that I was digging this thing. And I like how, because the typical trailers have, the voiceovers and everything, like in a world or something like that. Just when he thought it was safe to go out again, those kind of things. But this one, you have it was very atmospheric. You have the sound effects of the rain and the gunshots, and then you show clips of your comic and everything with the fog, and it was a really great vibe. Is it all right if I go ahead and just kick us off here with the trailer? Because
we did contemplate having a voiceover. We actually did record one.
You did?
Yeah, Doc recorded a voiceover and stuff, but we opted to just go with just the imagery,
I gotcha.
And go with that because he picked such a good music for it, and then with the with the effects that I put together for the trailer and everything, we just thought we don't need the voiceover.
Yeah, you just get the mood and the feel for it. So let me go ahead and do this real quick, and then we can get down to a damned dirty thing, a pariah story. All right, so let's do this. Hopefully I have sound. Can you guys hear the sound okay?
Yep.
Okay. I love it. I love it. I don't even smoke, and I was just like watching it. I'm like, I feel like I should have a cigarette here, you know, in one of those cigarette holders and everything that ladies.
Yeah, the clip, yep.
Yeah, that the dames used to have back then. So a damn dirty thing. What inspired this tale?
Well, Doc, I mean, okay, so Doc, okay, so obviously the subtitle is A Pariah Story. Mm-hmm. Doc's first book, which we funded and fulfilled, was Pariah Blood and Mud, which is this one here. It's
here, let me embiggen you in a second here. Okay.
48-page supernatural thriller, bordering on horror. Basically, you ever see the movie I Spit on Your Grave?
It's been a hot minute. The thing I remember most about it was the poster and everything. But yeah, it's a pretty it's a gruesome tale.
Yeah, so we know what happens to the girl, and she goes on a revenge spree. Well, Pariah is basically that. She witnesses a Russian mob hit. She goes to the cops. They basically do what they do to her and then leave her for dead. But she's a witch. From a long line of witches.
This chick right here. Oh no, in the first book. Okay, yeah. I got it.
That's Elizabeth. Elizabeth is a witch. She has this golem that she controls, and she's gonna go on a revenge spree to get back at the mob. Originally, Pariah was going to be one big book. It was just going to be Pariah Blood and Mud. It was going to be 100 pages. Then the economy took a dumper, and we're like, you're a first-time no-name guy. Let's break it up into a trilogy. So Doc's like, sounds good. So we broke it up into a trilogy. Part of that editing was Jake Bishop is this detective, and he's not in book 1, but he will feature prominently in books 2 and 3 of the Pariah story. So we were like, how do we have to basically cut out like his backstory. And we were like, are we going to use a lot of exposition to explain who he is? And then we came up with this idea. This is like a little supplemental 20 to 24 page. Doc hasn't really nailed that down. We're advertising it as 20, but I think it's going to come in at 24 floppy. And this basically will let you meet Jake, see what kind of guy he is, and follow this story that leads into his introduction in Pariah Sanctum of Hate, which is the next Pariah book.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and then Doc fell in love with this character, and after the Pariah trilogy, he's going to keep going with the Jake Bishop story. So
I'm really digging the art too, and the black and white. Once again, I was mentioning that yesterday, how I've really become a fan of black and white. Not for every type of story, but most definitely for this style of story. It really fits perfectly, and I think it helps capture that the feeling, the mood, and everything of murder mystery kind of thing.
Yeah. So where this picks up with he basically has to solve. Okay, so we set out to do one thing that people told us we weren't going to be able to do. We were going to combine pulp, supernatural, and noir, but heavy on the noir. And there's no way you can pull this off, and Doc pulled it off.
Yes.
So there's a lot of little intrigues to Jake. He's obviously a private detective. He also utilizes magic, but he isn't magic. And you get to learn a little bit about how that works and the difference between what he does and what Elizabeth does. Especially when they meet up. But basically, he's trying to solve his own murder or his own murder attempt in this story.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That I don't know if I've heard of that. I mean, somebody like Aldous on the Farm would be, I guess, the person to ask about this. But has that ever been mashed up before in the history of pulp? Like noir type stories where you have it's like a murder mystery, but it includes elements of magic. That just seems like a really interesting mashup of.
He was the one that challenged us to do it.
Wow.
So yeah, and
hey Eric.
Oh, what's up, Eric? How you doing, man? So yeah, I think he's excited to see what we did. I think he might be, if he's not already, he's definitely going to be a backer. He wants to check it out. So
Yeah. No, I love that concept. There was way many moons ago. Was it? There was. They weren't Comicsgate, but it was like an indie type of thing, and I found him on Indiegogo. But it was like Hank Flynn, something like that, and it was same kind of concept. There was monsters and everything, and this detective, he gets pulled into this world of murder and intrigue with monsters and kind of like the whole Cthulhu type of thing. And that was an interesting read. I really liked it. I don't know if that author, and forgive me, I can't remember his name, but I can't remember if he went on with the series. But I did get 2 of those, and they were thick graphic novels, and I really enjoyed them. So it is nice. I'm glad to see that somebody else in Comicsgate is going forward with the whole noir, mysticism kind of stuff.
we figured the best way to do it was to pick one of those 3 genres, and make that the main part, and have everything else just peppered in. And Doc, being Doc, loves noir. That's the one that we're focusing on. So there's pulp elements, there's supernatural elements, but this is a noir book. Yeah.
And help me with that. Like, is it sort of like whiskey in a way where, all Scotch is whiskey, but not all whiskey is Scotch kind of thing, where like pulp is all pulp noir, like for normies, like explain pulp. I know like it got the slang name, I guess, where it was supposed to be done very cheaply, and the whole idea was you'd get it out there, and I guess kind of like, it'd get in people's hands, they'd read it and then throw it away kind of thing. But could you, for normies and stuff like that, give us kind of like an overview of
pulp? Yeah, like you said, it was, but the name stems from the cheap materials, the pulp paper and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it tends to lend itself more to like sci-fi or fantasy, or those seem to be the heavy hitters. There's there's other genres that fall into pulp. Noir can fall into pulp, although Aldous will tell you that that's probably not true. Yeah,
I know he is like the expert extraordinaire on when it comes to all things pulp. Yeah, and I love how he has the he'll present the Shadow and everything like that, the radio show, the old radio serials and stuff. He's a very interesting fellow.
Right. Yeah, Aldous is a good dude. He's been around a long time. He knows his comics. He knows his pulp. And, he, and he's a pretty good editor, too, for anybody who's looking for an editor. I don't know if he's still putting himself out there, but I know he's edited quite a few books, so.
Okay. We're focusing on the detective story with this?
Yes.
Okay.
So it picks up, his business is under attack. That's in one of those images in the very begining. You see like the explosion.
We go back up.
The little montage that I did in the very beginning of the campaign.
Did I miss? Oh, no. Here we go.
Yeah.
The explosion.
Right. So his partner and his secretary, who you see laying there, the close-up of her laying there. Well, they're no longer with us. So now he's and then he spends about, I forget if, forgive me, Doc, I don't know if it's 8 weeks or 8 months in recovery, and then sets out for revenge. Not revenge, but justice. You see, the thing with Jake is I'm going to get the guy and bring him to justice. He's going to get the bad guy. That's what drives him, which is going to be the interesting thing when he meets up with Elizabeth in Pariah's Sanctum of Hate, because the mafia that did that to her are the bad guys, but now she's going around and like murdering people. So she's also kind of like a anti-hero because she's kind of crazy. She kind of went crazy by the end of
understandably
book one.
so.
Yeah. So is he going to be friend or foe to Elizabeth? That's going to be the question. So you're going to get to learn about Jake and his attitude towards crime. And then they meet up in book 2, and it's like, how is this gonna be a storm, like a perfect storm meeting, or is this gonna be like a team up? So that's what's gonna happen. So in the process of him hunting down the people that did this to him and his friends, he meets Portia Vance, that's the blonde, who is really gung ho about helping him and working for him, and there's also a little mystery behind her and what her motivations are.
I love this scene here, the shower scene. Very sexy with the silhouette and everything.
Yeah. So he needs a distraction, and she provides one.
Yeah, as dames often do. That's awesome there.
And on this page, you get to see him utilize a little bit of the magic that he is able to utilize, little teleportation, and then he dismantles the gun in the guy's hand on the last panel there.
Now, are we going to learn in this story, is this something that he was born with? Is it something that he was gifted with? Will it be explored within the story?
Yes, and obviously elaborated more in Pariah's Sanctum of Hate, because obviously we're going to learn the extent of how he handles, like, Elizabeth is born with it. We already know that from book 1. It's in her blood. I'm not going to give away whether he's born with it or if he's utilizing something else. That's part of the mystery of Jake that you need to learn when you read this. And then you'll learn the difference between the two, and how they either complement or interact with each other, as far as mysticism goes. Yeah, but it is something that you'll learn, and it's going to be pretty interesting. Yeah. And
you guys offer the you have the floppy that you said covers the backstory kind of the detective, and then you have was it the little novella? Yeah, so
it's a novella. It's basically a more in-depth adaptation of the floppy.
Okay.
So, there'll be a lot more, obviously it's a novella, so a lot more descriptive exposition and stuff like that. But it's basically an adaptation of the floppy, just more of what like Doc would maybe wanted to have done, but then that would have turned this into like a 64-page book, and we're really just trying to make this a supplemental to introduce you to Jake, because like I said, this book and Pariah Blood and Mud technically take place at the same time, and they both lead up and meet at Sanctum of Hate.
Nice. Okay. So I mean, really, to get the whole, I guess, meat and potatoes of the story, you're really going to want to get let's see, you had the ultimate, I think, tier. Was it at the top here?
Yeah. That's the damned if you do. So if you missed out on Pariah Blood and Mud, you'll get The Damn Dirty Thing, the novella, a copy of Pariah Blood and Mud. You'll get, there's always a coffee mug on Docs. Like we had them on Pariah. Had them in black and white.
Who doesn't like a good coffee mug too? They're just so handy.
Yeah. So these will be on every Pariah campaign, so you can get a black or a white one. And then for this one, we have the Damn Dirty Thing coffee mug. So that'll be on. That you'll get one of those, and that one's only coming in black. I saw Doc talking about this book on Nerd Bacon, I think. Yeah, I think he was on Nerd Bacon. Yeah. Doc's a really cool dude. Doc's a really, really good dude. And you'll get 2 sketch cards by him and a print, a Portia Vance print, a little 5x9 postcard size print, and then one of the tapestries that we had on the Pariah campaign.
A tapestry.
Yeah. And they're awesome because if you have a black
That's
light,
cool.
they react to the black light, but you don't need a black light for them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then that phone number is a working phone number.
That was this one here?
Yeah. If you call that number and leave a message and like ask Jake to take a case, we're going to go through them all live and pick the best one. And we're going to give, we haven't figured out just what yet, but if you, regardless of whether you back the book or not, we're going to get you something. And we just need we just kind of need to know, we need a way to know who you are, but don't dox yourself because we will be listening to these live. Yeah.
Can I dial it now? I mean, does the message play?
Yeah.
That's cool. Let me see if I can put it on speaker here. I love clever stuff like this. That's so fun. 2, 4, 6, okay. All right, let's see if I can put it up to the speaker here.
Hello. Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to connect you.
Wait a minute. Well, that's not what I wanted to hear. 1410.
It might be a Google Voice thing.
2466. I'm hoping I didn't do fat fingers or, dyslexic. Let me try it one more time.
Hello. Please state your name after.
Yeah, you might have to leave your name and then it'll connect you.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. All right. Well, I'll do it one more time and I'll do Abra. Okay, here we go. Let me boomer it.
Hello. Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to connect you.
Abra's 2 cents.
I tried to, I think the least amount I could do is 4.
Well, it feels like mysterious ringing.
This is Bishop. Leave a message.
Hey, Bishop, we got some stuff going down here in Pensacola, Florida. People are getting murdered up in here left and right. And I think there's some shady business going down on our main street. Please call back. We need you. Peace. Stupid.
And there it is. I just saw it pop up.
Oh, nice. All right. Yeah. Well, you guys get really creative because I know there's some really creative people out there. So I'm sure someone will come up with something. And you were saying you were going to pick a winner.
We're going to pick the best one. And the best message, again, don't dox yourself. Hey, Jay.
Yeah, don't.
Just either leave a name or like like if you're not on Twitter or something, you just leave an email address maybe or whatever. But like, get creative. Like people were like making up, like doing voices and you know what I mean? And you can leave as many as you want. Like you can, if you keep thinking, like somebody left 3, so.
Just call up and be like, 7 days.
So anything, right? Yeah, you could do whatever you want, but like, try to keep it like to that, like what we're looking like for like a noir theme, like where somebody's taking, like calling for, a case, like, my husband's cheating on me, something, so yeah, and then we'll pick a winner and we'll, I don't know, if they back the book, we'll, maybe throw something else in. If they didn't back the book, maybe they'll win a copy of the book. You never know. That's going to be up to Doc,
That is just so cool. I like that. And that's like another thing within Comicsgate. People are always being so creative and it just kind of ups the ante for the next campaign. Well, how can I do something even more creative? Love it.
Yeah.
Hey, Tarks9. Great to see you.
Hey, Tarks. What's going on, brother?
Hail Comicsgate.
I see Michael Deitch in the chat too. What's going on, man?
Oh, Brandon Boney, thank you so much for subscribing. Really appreciate it. This guy saves CG.
Yeah, little old me. What's going on, Jeremy?
The little dark gift that could, right? Oh goodness. So what's the inspiration for this? I mean, obviously, with the murder mystery noir, but I mean, is it pulling from, say, some classic movies or old serials or anything like that?
I'm sure there's some inspiration there from like the Doc's interests. He hasn't told me anything specific. The cover itself, and it actually says it at the bottom, is an homage to an old 1947 noir movie called Born to Kill. So we let me see if I might actually even have a picture of that. Let me see. And so we did want to pay tribute to like the genre in general. So like when Doc did that, like he drew all those assets separately, and then I pieced them together to make them like as close as possible to the movie poster. Because it's honestly one of the only noir movies I've ever seen. So, and his original concept was already starting to look like it. So, I was like, so he drew like the Porsche vans, he drew Jake, he drew the Jake running the car, all that, all that stuff separate, sent me all the different assets. And then, I pieced it together. Here it is. And,
before I pull it up here real quick, I was just going to read Chuck Reardon's message about the phone number and leaving the message. He says, "Can I leave a message? Hey, Bishop, there is this chick named Alice. She was last seen with this shady character, goes by the name of Darkgift or Dark Shift or something. He hangs in the slums."
Yes, that's my late book. Yes. You could definitely do. I do have one book that's late. It ran into some issues in the development process, but I was hoping to actually have it out in time because I kind of want to get a table at Garden State Comic Fest, and I can't use Lightbringer 1 anymore, but I can use Pariah Blood and Mud, and I wanted to have Hunting Alice and Lightbringer 2 done by then, but I think even if they're done and at the printers, I don't think they'll be in my hands in time. So, but yeah, it's almost done. It's for anybody who's interested in the Hunting Alice book.
Are you going to be going to Garden State Comic Fest?
I'm going either way. Yes.
Oh, cool. Because I'm going to be going. So I'll get
nice.
Yeah,
we'll get to meet in person. Yeah.
That'll be awesome. All right. Let's see what we have here. That is a great poster.
Yeah, so that's what we tried to like pay homage to. We tried to make the cover look like a movie poster. So
I like that. They just don't make good movie posters anymore. It's just like the art in them is not there anymore. But that's really nice. It kind of makes me think of like the whole noir thing, in Star Trek: The Next Generation, when Picard would go to the holodeck and he'd always play the detective. And they'd have a murder mystery to solve. Did you ever watch those episodes?
Yep.
Yes. Those were some of my favorite.
Yeah, those were really cool. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to click that. But yeah, so we tried like really, and then like I said, after the Sanctum of Hate, and he's tossing around the title for the third Pariah book. After the third one, then the continuation of Jake's story, because you're actually following Jake's story from this book through those two Pariah books, and then into the next Jake Bishop book. They all lead one into, and this is where Doc wants to stay. So
this is great. So I mean, you kind of took the lemons of the economy being in the toilet and everything, and just were able to pivot and go ahead. I like the idea of busting it out into three books and everything. It just
yeah, and we busted the numbers down as best we could. Like we did a 48-page black and white graphic novel with Pariah for $12.
Dang, yeah. Yeah, let's look at some of the different tiers. We went through I like the Damned If You Do. I love how you named it.
Yeah, I always name the featured tiers, and then the other ones are just your standard like book and mug or whatever. But
Yeah.
So this is the Damned If You Don't. This is the first time we've had two. So if you've already backed Pariah, if you're one of our previous backers, and so you don't need the Pariah or the Blood and Mud or the Tapestry, this basically takes those two things out, and you get all just the damn dirty thing stuff. So
Yeah.
you get the floppy, the noir, the 2 sketch cards, the mug, and the print. So.
Yeah, and then we have the floppy here.
Yep, $7 gets you in on the ground floor. So
That's like an incredible deal. I don't know how you guys do it in the novella.
Yeah, if you just want the novella, yeah. Maybe like you have a family member who's not into comics but they like noir. Get them the novella. You know. And the digital of each are $4. We did $6. Yeah. We did $6 on Pariah, but I was like, that was for 48 pages. This is only 20 to 24, so let's take a couple of dollars off.
That's fair. Then you can get both of them there.
Yeah, both for 15. So you save $1. That's the digital version of both. Now, right now the storefront on my website is down because I don't know, the provider I think is switching away from having a built-in one, and I have to either use like a Shopify or find a different site, which I think is what I'm going to do. But we were selling these on the website for 15. Like I said, they were 12 on the previous campaign, so we kept it 12 here for the
I gotcha.
Pariah, yeah.
And then the digital for $4. I that's something I really do appreciate. I've been very fortunate, that a lot of the comic skaters are based here in the States. So I haven't been killed, with the shipping costs, but, the overseas backers, I really feel their pain. So I really appreciate that. It seems like more and more creators are starting to offer the digital options.
Yeah, and all our physicals come with the digital too. So if you back a physical, you don't have to back a digital. Also, you can, you're going to get one. So if you like to have a digital copy for when you're traveling or something or whatnot.
Yeah. All 3 of them there, 25.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of campaigns are you're buying one book for 25. We're giving you 2 comics and a novella for 25. So
you can't beat that. And then the mugs, like you were saying, the black mug, and that on the back is that almost like his business card?
It's like the old office doors that had the glass and it had like the engraved on the glass. That's basically it's the sign. It says Bishop and Donovan. His partner's name was Donovan. Last name Donovan.
May he rest in peace.
And then we've got 2 pages of original art on the. We just put those up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the other day. So
yeah, nice and tight. You get some great options there. The pricing is just, really good. So.
Yeah, other than the original art, which is $100, there's really nothing over $100 on this. Well, once you factor in shipping, obviously, but there's really nothing over $100 on this campaign. We tried to keep it real budget friendly.
That's awesome. All right, let me just see. I don't know. Hold my breath while I refresh. Nope, but I'm hoping on the replay. Come on, you guys.
Now we have two stretch goals. I think we're going to... Oh, shit. He wanted me to add a 3rd stretch goal. Or a 3,000 we're going to add. Because if you signed up, not only did you get a 10% discount code. So if anyone's in the audience that did sign up but hasn't backed yet, check your email because there's a discount code that gets you 10% off. You also got a trading card from a gentleman named Tanner Hurley, really good artist. 3,000. If we hit 3,000, we're gonna do a Porsche Vance trading card, which will also be the print. And then at 4,000, we're gonna do an audiobook version of the novella.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah. Now there's a sample there. You don't have to play the whole thing, but it's like a 7-minute long sample. If you just want to play like a minute of it, just to get a feel for it, so people can get an idea of. Because we really want to hit the 4,000. We really want to do this audiobook.
Let me open this up here. Get out of there.
And it's Doc doing the reading. Of course, he will not be doing the female voices in the final version. Don't worry.
Oh.
In this version, he does the one lady's voice, and otherwise, I think he does a great job. So.
All right, let's get a little sampling of this. Sound coming through?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Money. It's always about the money. There was no movement in Morelli's official banking records, but there was absolutely no chance he was living low. Not Morelli. No, wherever he had planted himself, he'd be living in luxury, and that means money. When the mob moved money off the books, they did it through shadow bankers. There was one such individual used by the Italians, the Irish, and the Russians, and God knows who else. Whitey Doyle. If you needed money moved off the books, Doyle was your man. He operated out of a legitimate pawn shop in the business district of Iron Heights. Doyle's was the place to go if you were a whisper away from ruin, where the last shreds of dignity could be pawned for a breath of borrowed time. I park around the corner and wait. For this to work, I have to be sure that Santos still has some of his boys keeping an eye on me. I smoke a cigarette before finally getting out of the car. I walk past the pizza place and the liquor store that sells lottery tickets before entering the innocuous storefront. 2 suits stand opposite in the shade of an awning over the entrance of a shoe store. Good.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be really, really cool. You didn't get to the one part, but
yeah, I can keep playing it.
No, because it's long and
okay.
yeah. But in one where he starts talking about the stuff inside the pawn shop. So in this world, it's modern day. But it's a world where the aesthetics of the 1940s never went out of style. So like architecture, fashion, all that, that's all still, in style. But technology is where we have it, but they don't call certain things like what we call them. Like
so you have computers.
But in this world, in the Pariah and Jake Bishop world, they're called data types. I forget what Doc calls the cell phones, but like they have cell phones, but they're not called cell phones. They're called something else. Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah. So.
Oh, we got the headless bourgeoisie is saying I'll be backing it on the 15th.
Oh, awesome, man!
Yeah,
appreciate that. Yeah. And. Yeah, so Doc's really put a lot of thought into everything, like into the world building and stuff, and it's really cool. It's funny because we don't really get to touch on that aspect in Pariah, although when you see the way they're dressed and the vehicles and stuff that they're driving, you kind of get the feel for it, but like there's no mention of these like other objects that have different names, but like in this book we'll touch on that more. We'll touch on it more. So but people might get confused, like what's a data type? He's talking about a laptop,
A data type. I like that. Yeah. So instead of like a typewriter, that's pretty cool. I guess in a sense it kind of reminds me of how like the world of Fallout, the video game, how it's, the 1950s. But it's in the future, but it still has that aesthetic of the 1950s and everything, and the housewives and the cars and all that look like they're from that era.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of that thought process, as well as like Batman the animated series, like the first few seasons before like they started bringing in like Superman and the Justice League and stuff. So there was like that kind of thought process to it. Like, you know, when Batman the Animated Series came out, it's like he had all this high-tech technology, but like everyone's driving like an old 1940s Rolls Royces and Buicks and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so, yeah. It was
I remember
like,
I didn't know what to make of it when it first came out, because I think it came out, what, in 92, 93? And
yeah, right around
it was
the
kind of
time
like
of
that
the second
thing.
one, yeah.
Yeah, it just, I didn't really, I don't think I gave it the appreciation that it deserved at the time because, you know, I was young and stupid and all that. But once you have a chance to kind of live a little and experience life and learn more about art and all that kind of stuff, I really appreciate what the creators of the animated series, Batman the Animated Series, did with the whole look and feel of it back then. It was just a great show. And there's a reason why it's kind of stood the test of time and everything, and people rate it so highly.
Yeah, I loved that show. I mean, I was like in high school, but I was like watching it after school every day, like a little kid. Like, you know, like it was so cool. Yeah.
Let's see. James was asking some questions. Some people are saying I should get Wiggle on. Wiggle don't want people to buy his book. What?
Exactly, Paulus. That's so Wiggle's original pitch. The book's getting made regardless. He just did the campaign, like just to do the campaign, but it was like a hypno ape, and it just was like, buy my book, right? And then he saw what's her name that does the pins on Twitter. And she's like, buy my pins. And he's like, she stole my line. And so now his line is, don't buy my book.
Oh, no.
Yeah. He's like, don't buy my book. I'm a hack. He's got like a cool little, it's like a little 4-page zine style floppy with a bunch of great artists working on it. It's all comic strips. Like, you know, like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But like he's got Lakem, Matt, Barr, I think Dillard did one, Lazmat's doing one, you know. And yeah, it's just a cool little thing. It's called Battle of the Kangs. And
we was Kangs.
You should check that yeah, you should check that out too. That's over on Indiegogo. We're over on Fund My Comic. The nice thing about Fund My Comic is we set it up as a permanent storefront. So there's no time limit. Yeah.
And it doesn't take as big a slice of your profits too, which I kind of like that for creators.
Yeah. Yeah. And so like, you know, like there's no like rush to try to get on people's shows. Like we can get on their shows when they have an opening. You know what I mean? We can do the show streams and stuff at our leisure and the host's leisure, rather than like, I only got 60 days. You got anything in the next 60 days? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so
yeah, that mad dash. James Hurley was asking if I will ever get Matt Barr on. I'd like to. Actually, he was the next person I was going to reach out to and ask, because I really did dig Rock and Roll Ninja. Did you get that one, Darkgift?
I just got it like a week or so. I haven't read it yet because I've been so busy with personal stuff and work and you know, the shows. I mean, friggin' Indie Cockfight took off. I did not think that was going to be a popular show.
That is such a cool show. I love that. Yeah, and it's fun seeing what the different creators come up with under
such
the wheels.
Constraints.
The wheels, yeah. You have to change your hand. Yeah.
And like you have to talk smack. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, 'cause everybody's always like,
I struggle with that. Yeah.
Everybody's always like, you know, we don't like the drama. The drama doesn't sell comics, but when there's a drama stream on, everybody watches. It's got the biggest numbers, right? So let's do some kayfabe drama. So when at the end of the show, people can just walk away and everybody's still cool, but at least you get that smack talking. The audience gets to heckle and talk a little smack, and you can talk smack back to the audience. And it's all fun. Everybody's having a blast. And yeah, like the first one was the wheel ended on Cyberfrog, and then the action was mowing a lawn.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I saw that one. I was just like, wow, that is just the most random thing possible.
And then the other wheel was like, add another character, and I wanted to bring Vampirella. And I thought both artists did a great job with it. You know, Rini had the hands turned into like the push mowers, and he was killing Vampirella, and Dillard was on a John Deere with a straw out of Cyberfrog's mouth and a beer, and Vampirella was riding shotgun on the back.
It definitely worked.
Yeah, it was cool.
Hollis Art said, I just like that something is called a damn dirty thing and it's not referring to me. I mean, I tell you that, yeah. The number of times I thought that, Paulus, I tell you. Another one from James Hurley. He's saying you should get Alice Matt on. He does the Road Warrior Drake, right?
Yeah.
He's that looks pretty cool, and he's always going back and forth with I think, isn't it the Quaff? Yeah. They have that
kayfabe going on. Yeah. I should see, he might, because he, we did the joke, like we had the CG pro grift tournament, like half of the slumlords were on it, and it was really like making fun of everybody. Like Lasmat was on there because he's taken his book and put it on 4 different crowdfunding sites so far. So, like everybody was like, so I think he still has HTTPS. He got onto Crowdfunder, which was like, you're not allowed on this platform if you're Comicsgate, and he's on there. Yeah.
How did he swing that one? Did he
say he
was a person of color that's disabled and trans or something?
He might have. I don't know, but yeah. But this is his last. Like, obviously, he's done the Indiegogo. He's done Kickstarter. Oh, am I spelling this wrong? roadwarriordrake.com. No, I guess maybe he's done. He might be done with the crowdfunder. So yeah, I think, I guess if he's done with that, he should be getting ready to print. But
nice.
Yeah.
The trash talk is too funny. Dillard is brutal.
Oh yeah, Dillard is funny. He's the best co-host for that show too, because we talk smack to each other as the hosts.
Yeah.
He usually gets me pretty good though.
Yeah, I was kind of joking, and the people were like, because I was going, oh, it's so mean. I didn't get the whole idea that you're, supposed to rib each other and everything. And I forget who in the chat said, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to talk smack and everything. Like, oh, well.
Yeah, because back in the day, Mike Miller had a show called Drawn and Quartered.
Yeah.
And it was great. And there was like, yeah, it was a panel show, but... Thank you, Katie. I appreciate that. I really do. And John would go on and talk a lot of smack, and nobody liked it. Well, the audience loved it, but nobody on the panel liked it. So we took that, we made it a one-on-one, and that's why I told John, I was like, you should get on here because this is perfect for you.
Yeah, he would have a field day with that. Trash talking, he's in his element for sure.
Yeah, he's worried that people wouldn't, would get upset. And I'm like, no, there's a rule.
Yeah.
There's a whole set of rules to this. And the very last rule is don't be a sissy lala.
You son of a bitch, Jabba.
Damn you, Jabba.
Oh, well, I'm so glad. I was feeling incomplete. If I don't get a good, insult from Jabba, I'm not doing my job. So, all right, you big fat cuck, you Jabba the cuck. I have your 1-page comic here with 2 staples. Let's see if you could handle one of my reviews. Can you take the heat? Yeah, I got his the Fallout Nuclear Samurai 1-page.
He's the biggest grifter in all of Comicsgate. How is he not on the Pro Grift Challenge? I don't get it.
He's just a real gem. What would Comicsgate be without the wonderful Jabba?
That's why a lot of people got upset with us about the Pro Grift tournament. But I was like, we're just poking fun at everybody. Literally, me, Wiggle, Elasmat, Matt Barr. Was Quaff on there? Quaff might have been. Like half the slums was a contestant in the Pro Grift tournament. It's like we're making fun of ourselves, like.
If you can't laugh at yourself, you're not doing it right.
Right.
Yeah, it's true. Good old reliable Jabba. Nah, he really does make my day. I'm so glad you stopped by, Jabba. I really appreciate it. Yeah, that is so true. When you get trolled by Jabba, you know you've truly made it.
Jabba says he was on one of the brackets.
Oh, he said I beat Risey and Andrew Huerta.
You beat you definitely should beat Huerta. Even though Huerta never delivered his book and it's been like 6 years, you definitely should beat Huerta.
He was it? I'm trying to remember because I think I backed his book.
Sovereign.
Yes, I did back Sovereign, and I also got when he did the cover for the Graveyard Shift. I think it was the second one, Volume 2. I like his stuff. I don't know, the crowdfunding thing. I know it can be hard. Life can hit you really hard sometimes, and if you get underwater a little bit, as a creator, I can only imagine it's just got to be, like on ice skates trying to go up a mountain. Just almost impossible. To where you can get to a point to still release your book. I got shafted by dang nabbit. Why can't I think of his name now? He was with Doug TenNapel for a while.
He's a really nice guy too. He's still working on that book.
Yeah.
Why can't I think of his name?
I know. Like, I swear to God, I get on the computer and it's like I get Alzheimer's going on or something.
I'm seeing his screen name.
Jerkmonger, yeah, and he was doing the book and everything, and I backed it. I even did a tier. This was like the only time I did it too, where you could be drawn in the book as a character. I was like, because I met him. He came to a convention that I went to a while back. Yes, Elliot Fernandez. Thank you so much. Doom Kickers. Thank you. God Almighty. Got to get those brain cells a firing.
I know. I saw Ellie say that you're officially in the slums. Abra's been on Slumlord. She is a honorary Slumlord. Yeah.
I'm a slumette.
Slumette. Yeah.
Yes, some mother always trying to ice skate uphill. I know that's right. Edwin Boyette. No, there were no. Maybe there were schemes and scams involved. Edwin Boyette was another one that just kind of broke my heart, but I should have seen through it. It was kind of like the whole Jimmy Swaggart kind of thing with the the Lord is my shepherd, reading the Bible and reading from the teachings of Marcus Aurelius. He was acting a little too intellectual. I think that should have been red flags, but it did break my heart when he, kind of backstabbed Comicsgate and everything. Fudge.
Oh, you're talking about Edwin.
Edwin Boyette, yeah.
Yeah, I try to stay as cordial as possible with him, but he'll like poke. Sometimes I think he pokes me a little bit, and it's like, I'm not going to argue with you, Edwin. I'm not going to argue with you. Hey, Chris, what's up, man?
Oh, yeah, Chris Stanley. What's going on? So I kind of had a quick question. I don't know how much you'd want to dive into it and everything, but the Blood and Mud, I think you mentioned that you had a crowdfunder for this before. What was the story on Pariah Blood and Mud?
So Pariah Blood and Mud is a story about Elizabeth Payne, who, unbeknownst, I guess she didn't know, but she wasn't raised in it, but she's a descendant of a long line of very powerful witches. And she moves to the city to go to school. And she works at a nightclub that's owned by the Russian mob. And she walks in and witnesses a killing, and then goes to the cops, and they find her, they beat her, they assault her, and they basically leave her for dead in a hole in a junkyard. She should have been dead, but it turns out that the magic in her blood basically prolonged her life long enough for her grandfather to create this golem to go save her and bring her back to the farm in the swamps where she's from, and heal. and she does. And she doesn't leave the house, and obviously stuff like this. So he decides he's going to teach her and train her in their family magic to protect herself and make her feel safe. And there, so the first book is it's basically that it's her training, and then he talks her into leaving the house one day, and she leaves the house to go to the market, to go into town, to go to the store to get some stuff. She runs into an old high school friend. They hug. He kind of grabs her ass, and she loses it.
Flashbacks or something, PTSD.
Yeah, and this poor guy does not survive that encounter.
Oh.
And this is where she kind of snaps, and that's where the book leads off. And now she's back, and she's ready to go back into the city to go enact her revenge on her assailants. And that's Pariah's Sanctum of Hate, which I actually have a teaser trailer for.
Ooh.
If you would let me play.
Yeah, absolutely. Please share.
Because, like I said, A Damn Dirty Thing is Jake Bishop plays heavy in Sanctum of Hate, and the third book, which we don't have an exact title for. And I just gotta find it. I lost it. So when you buy Pariah Blood and Mud and you buy a Damn Dirty Thing, if you haven't backed both, they basically take place at the same time. And they both lead up to Sanctum of Hate, where Jake Bishop will meet Elizabeth Payne, and we don't know if he's going to be like a friend to her or trying to take her down. But there is an epilogue in A Damn Dirty Thing, which will lead into his appearance in Sanctum of Hate. Okay, here we go.
All right, let me go ahead and bring this up here.
All right, you ready?
Yes. I like that. Like how the flash of lightning illuminates him for a second, then it goes back to just the eyes. Very nice.
Yeah, that was my, one of my. I love doing the video trailers. So Doc sends me like a basic thing, like this is what I kind of want.
Yeah.
Now go do your thing, and I went in and I added all the effects to the fonts and the lightning and the. He had the thunderstorm in the audio, and then I put the lightning to it, and then threw in the golem at the end. So it was really cool.
Yeah, it's a nice touch. The golem and the lightning, that it is a nice touch.
The nice thing too is Doc always gets his stuff done before the campaigns are even over. So A Damn Dirty Thing is done.
Oh, nice.
We just have to letter it.
Let's see. Did it have a estimated ship date on there?
No.
Yeah,
I learned a long time ago, don't try to overpromise anything.
Yeah, that really can come back to bite you.
We are looking to have it, fulfilling by the end of the summer. I'm hoping to have it fulfilling by the end of the summer. But we really do want to get to that 4,000 to get the audiobook done. So we're going to keep this open as long as we can to do that. That being said, the novella, the floppy is done. We just have to letter it. The novella, I think he's working on like the last 3 pages of the novella. So that's done. So he's already started working on Sanctum of Hate. So
that's awesome.
once we go into And he's helping me with Hunting Alice. He's doing the layout so I can do the finishes and get it done faster.
Ooh. Yes, Chris Stanley. All 3 books for $25 plus the shipping. But yeah, that's a really good deal.
Yeah, you get Pariah and ADDT plus the novella for $25. I mean, I'm not trying to like blow smoke up my own ass, but I think that's a freaking good deal.
No, it definitely is. Definitely is. Good old Jabba.
I'm sure you will, Jabba. I'm sure you will.
Let's see. We had one question here. Ellie, he who walks between worlds. Boy, that's a tongue twister. Do we find out who did it, or is it more like a Twin Peaks sort of thing?
Who did what? Who tried to kill Jake in a damn dirty thing? Yeah. We find out we find out who it is, and he goes to bring them to justice and all that. She got the $17 one. Oh yeah, so you got the catch-up tier. Katie got the catch-up tier.
Oh yes, yeah. Here we go. Awesome. Not
yeah, I
bad
mean,
at all.
$17 gets you a 48 page graphic novel and I think it's, like I said, I think it's going to wind up being 24-page floppy. So
awesome.
And even the
Thank
floppy.
you so much, Katie.
Yeah, thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
It's going to be I think even the floppy is going to be perfect bound. So it's going to be a nice prestige floppy. So.
So, I mean, how about you? Is there anything that you would like to promote just, for yourself? Be selfish for a little bit.
This is for myself. I not only I'm working on Hunting Alice, which is my book that I'm working on. We also have Lightbringer Genesis Volume 2, which is being Dean James is working on the last 3 pages of that pencils. I'm doing the inks and the editing on that. I publish for other people who can't or don't want to or don't have the reach so like Iron Liz of Channel Awesome fame is the writer of Lightbringer 2. She came to me and asked me to publish the Lightbringer series for her.
Oh, wow.
So we had done Lightbringer Genesis Volume 1, and now we're on Volume 2. Which has, like I said, it's got the great, Dean James is a phenomenal artist.
Yes, I'm waiting for the Embrace too.
Yeah, once he's done with Lightbringer, he's moving on to the Embrace. And then once he's done with the Embrace, because he had to wait for something from Michael Odin. So he was able to take a break from that to finish up Lightbringer 2. And now I think once he's done with that, they're getting ready to finish. I think I don't want to put words in Dean's mouth or Mike's mouth, but I think they're fairly along the process already. So they just have to pick up where they left off to finish Embrace.
Yeah.
Once he finishes that, I'm out of my own pocket. I'm having him redraw Lightbringer 1, and most of you guys probably already know why that is. Because we all know who the artist was on the first book. So that'll be redone, and that'll be back on the market with Dean James doing, because he's also going to do book 3 for Lightbringer. So it'd be nice to have the same artist do the overall original three book arc. Even though there's more books to come, we can always get a different artist if Dean can't do it. But at least the original arc, the 3-issue arc, will be done by the same artist. So that's actually up on Indiegogo still. It's in demand, and that'll be going to print right around the same time Hunting Alice goes to print, because I'll be finishing up both those books around the same time. Could we get the coffee mugs themselves? Yes.
Yeah, they were 18 plus shipping. I think there was an option
18 plus.
on that.
Yeah, 18 plus shipping for the mugs.
Yeah,
I know the mugs and everybody said the mugs and the tapestries are more expensive than the books. I'm like, yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's to produce that kind of stuff. It does get pricey unless you're producing thousands and thousands of them.
And the nice thing is, the mugs themselves, I can honestly say, are 100% made in the United States. We are getting mugs that are made here. And then the woman who is doing the sublimation is Doc's neighbor. So she does all the sublimation work, getting the logos and stuff on there. And so like that's all, that's the one thing I can say is definitely made in the United States. The printing the printing of the books are too, but we don't know where the paper comes from, right? So, but we can say that like the mugs are made here in the States and they're supplemented right down in good old Georgia. So,
Georgia.
Yeah.
I like Georgia.
Yeah, she's a sweet little old lady. I say old
Georgia.
lady. She's like in her 50s or 60s or something, and she's little. Like I keep saying old. I said I should stop saying that. But she just reminds me. She's like this sweet little black lady. You know, Southern. You know, like I just want her. I feel like she's gonna be like, come on in for some dinner. You know, like,
you break cornbread with her or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, keeping production very local. Yeah, I know ideally if everything could be made in the US at a reasonable rate, most people would do it. But yeah, it's not easy.
Now the tapestries are local. I mean, local to me, and not super local, but like they're New York. They're, you know.
I'm sorry. I need to slap Chaba. Can somebody please virtually reach out and slap him?
Oh my God, you're such a douche. Sorry. But it's a small company, two brothers with a couple of employees up in White Plains, New York. They do the tapestries. I don't know where they get the materials from, so I can't say that they're 100% made in the United States.
The hair of virgins.
Yeah. But yeah, we try to keep everything like in-house. Like the hats we did, we have do I have one handy?
Thank you, Katie.
Oh wait, no, I do. Or I don't. Yeah, I don't. But
so.
we have red make Lightbringer great again hats. I get those from a local, you know, they do like all the local like sports teams uniforms and stuff. So that's where I get those made. So yeah, we try to keep everything local.
You know, I know this was meant to be a joke, but it'd almost be cool if you could do like a cigarette, you know, the case.
The case.
They used to have that back then.
We thought about that. They're expensive to make. That's the thing. You know, and Doc is still a fairly new creator. People need to like get to like he needs to like, you know, make his mark. And once we start, you know, I think once we start getting these books out there and people start realizing what Doc's doing, I think, you know, we'll pick up a bigger fan base for his work. And yeah, that'd be cool. Like we were thinking about getting them done, you know.
Yeah, I could see it, you know, like maybe by the time the third book is out there, maybe that'll be a possibility, doing the having that as a perk or something.
Ellie reminded me, I did make that drink at work and the girls loved it.
What was the Shigama drink?
So they were talking about, they were talking, you know, Finatra, his whole, like everybody says Shigama. That's like their greeting. It's like ciao or something, right? So they were talking about a drink and I said, no, the Shigama drink should be a martini and it should be, I wrote it down. I don't remember it off the top of my head. I wrote it down. I think it was, what did I say? Bacardi Limon, peach nectar with a sugar rim and an orange, the peel, the orange twist.
The peach cordial.
Yeah. And the girls loved it.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Maybe you could put like a recipe in one of the books or something, like classic. I
thought about that because I am a bartender, so I thought about doing something like that, where like, you know, it might work out better in one of Doc's books, especially in the later Jake Bishop series, because there's a character that he modeled after me, and actually, I mean, it's basically an insert because he just named him Anthony Romano, and he's the bartender. I'm like, all right, thanks, Doc. So, you know, we could do something in the back, like, you know, the name of the bar. I forget the name of the bar, but whatever the name of the bar is, you know, the drink list for that bar or something like that. And I can put in, I could do something like that. That'd be kind of cool.
Lazzy Droid was asking about an audio version on Audible. That audio book that you had, is that something that would be possible to put up on Audible?
Yeah. So if we get to the $4,000 mark, we will make the audio book. And we will also put it on as a tier, as well as anybody who gets the one of the damned if you do, damned if you don't tiers, you'll automatically get a copy. Because anything we add to the campaign, those are like subscription things. So yeah, so those will be added, and then we'll make the audiobook and we'll put it in as a tier to purchase on the campaign. Once that campaign's over, we have a list of different like Audible places that we're going to be putting it on, where you'll be able to, if you missed out on the campaign and you want to get the audiobook, just go and buy it. Yeah, go to Audible and get it. And I'm thinking along with a digital copy of the audiobook that you'll get. Hopefully we'll have like the Audible and the other places set up already. We'll even we'll maybe figure it out how we can get a code so you can actually have it in your Audible library as well.
Oh, nice. So, yeah, that'd be great. All right. Well, is there anything, we've been going for about an hour or so, is there anything else that you would like people to be aware of, either about, your channel, this project here, A Damn Dirty Thing, anything in general?
No, yeah, like I said, we got a damn. You can go to darkgiftcomics.com, and the links to A Damn Dirty Thing and Lightbringer 2 will be there. So if you want to go check those out, I mean, like I said, we usually have we might even be adding a tap. I don't think it'd be blacklight because it'll like take away from the noir thing, but we might do a black and white tapestry. But like you see, we do the 24 by 36 tapestries.
Yeah,
that are poster size, so they come out really nice. You don't need the black light, so they come out great. So go check those out. There'll be a new store on the website soon, so you can get all the past stuff. And yeah, as far as the channel goes, we got Slumlords every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Every other Thursday, so next week, we do the Indie Cockfight, the drawing competition. So next Thursday is actually me versus Doc. Doc challenged me. So,
so snap.
So Dylan will be the official host for that show, and I don't know who he's picking for his co-host for the show, but yeah, it'll be me versus Doc on Cockfight. So every other Thursday at 9 p.m. we do Indie Cockfight, which is the craziest drawing competition in indie comics going right now, ever, I think. And Slumlords every Wednesday, and then of course, like later tonight, I'll be doing my horror movie stream. So I always got different shows going.
What's the horror movie for tonight?
Tonight, well, we've been doing time frames. So we started with 70s. We started with 80s. Then we did 70s. Now we're doing 90s. And then I usually put a poll in the chat, and we're going to cover different decades first, and then we might start actually picking like franchises, once we run out of decades. So yeah, we just go over them, like what are the best horror movies of the 90s, and we just talk about them, show the trailers, and reminisce.
That's fun. So yeah, definitely check that out for sure. Excuse me. I'm choking over here. $5 from Katie Did's channel. Back twice, I think. If so, the extra copy. If so, take the extra copy and do a giveaway for your cockfight show. Nice. We might have our differences, DG, but I'm here to support.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll check and see, and if that's the case, yeah, we'll definitely do a giveaway or something. We with Pariah, Lightbringer 2, Hunting Alice, and even Ali Sanguise's Egg Beater. There was a gentleman named James Hayes. I know we're going to end, but he was a huge supporter, member of the chat, great friend. He passed away about a year ago, and he knew he was going for about a year before that. He reached out to me, and I was basically his arbiter of like Comicsgate final business, and he sent me all his Comicsgate books that he ever backed. We did giveaways, and at the time he remained anonymous. He didn't want to be known. Didn't want to be known. So we called him the Mysterious Benefactor, which kind of got shortened to Uncle Ben from Spider-Man. So the Mysterious Uncle Ben, and we were doing that, and then he did. He bought retailer tiers, like 10, when you get a bundle of 10
Oh,
copies.
wow.
So we're going to be doing a lot of giveaways like that. So I think what we're going to do is any donations from our campaigns, we're just going to add to that. So once all these books are printed and I have all of them, the 10 copies of Egg Beater, the 10 copies of Lightbringer, the 10 copies of Hunting Alice, even if it's only 1 or 2 copies of A Damn Dirty Thing or whatnot. One thing I'm gonna do at a local library is set up a stand and have two copies of each book in the local library with his name on it. So.
Oh, that's a terrific idea. I like that, and get some exposure, to some of the indie books, some of the Comicsgate books out there. That's great.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for that, Katie. I appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. Okay, well, I think with that, I wanted to thank you so much to Darkgift for joining me. I know the last few days for each of us have been a little bit nutty, but I really appreciate you agreeing to come on the show. And it's a blast as always. And you'll see me lurking around in the chat sometime.
Come on down to the slums.
So, yeah, it's always fun to get down and dirty in the slums sometimes. So definitely appreciate that.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it, Abra.
And yes, please, if you're not able to today, please consider backing it. Come payday, A Damn Dirty Thing. I love the whole noir murder mystery, story. It seems like a lot of fun. And thank you, everyone in the chat. I really appreciate it. You guys are always great. The interaction is what makes the show a show and fun and possible and everything. So thank you so much, Chuck. Great show, Abra and Darkgift. So thank you. Jolly Green.
Hey, Jolly.
Nice. But yeah, I think with that, we will go ahead and bid you guys adieu. And if you want to hang out for just a moment when I close out here, Darkgift.
Sure.
And with that, adios. Bye-bye.
50 cents off of me. I've had enough. Get the hell out of my house. In Jesus' name, I pray.